when you practice morning meditation every morning, you are training your mind and body to be able to embody feelings of elevated states of consciousness. And that is getting us away from living in the past life moments that keep us trapped, that keep us stuck, that keep us attached to living in the negative, attached to what we would receive in the future, and start to embody a feeling of presence, of the right now. And when you allow your spiritual guide to send you that energy, connecting with the higher self, as per the meditations I've made for you, you connect with those, and you also don't look at time while you're doing it. You are taking the time for yourself out of your morning to do this meditation. This is your time. Whether someone wants to try to make you feel guilt for doing that, or you're going to feel guilt deep down that you didn't do something else sooner, possibly. It's just a program. It's just the autopilot running again. But when you can get beyond time, you start to live a life in the present moment. And in that present moment, everything right here and now is good. Everything right here and now is enough. You, who is doing the inner work, watching the content on the channel, willing to become the best version of yourself, is the best version of you capable now. And you will continue to get better as you apply the principles. And I know you have it within you to do this type of work, to do your passion and purpose the same way that I apply myself on the channel every day. It's what we're here to do. We're going to get down to the bottom of what your thing is so that you can start to apply yourself and take action on it in those elevated states. And knowing ahead of time that you are already enough, and that something from outside of you doesn't have to come and give you permission to do it. You give yourself permission to do it. Same way that I did. I don't need the permission. I don't need the validation. I don't need the perfect relationship to make me feel good. Though you guys know I'm not seeking a relationship. I'm a married man. But a lot of what I speak about in my relationship topics are coming from personal experiences from when I was still a single man and living a very poisonous mental life. It was very hard on myself back then. But finding this sense of inner peace in the present moment and embodying that state of being in a flow state, taking time for yourself in the morning, taking a sip of coffee when you need it, and just taking some time in the morning, hang out at home, especially if you have the whole day for yourself, it's your day off. You know, every day could become like your day off when you discover your passion and do your full time. Doesn't mean you're not going to do any work, but you set your own schedule. You get to design this new life. Embodying those flow states, that's where your creativity is going to be at an all-time high. Be able to apply on playing guitar. Be able to apply on learning that new song on drums. To be able to apply on how to get good at speaking on videos to become a YouTuber. To be able to apply starting making a small business with Instagram and TikTok. These are all different things that you could be doing. And if social media and YouTube success is not for you, you could do it some other way. But nowadays with marketing, it seems to be all driven by media and the internet. So it's very, very hard to attract clientele in person nowadays, unless you have a business. But When you have a business and a shop, you're going to be paying rent on that shop. You're going to be taking chances on yourself. So if you want to have the in-person stuff and a shop, I would recommend doing it hybrid, where you have the online business and passion going, and you have the in-person as well. As comparable to my fitness business, where I do online one-on-one coaching as per Zoom calls, and I construct workouts for people. I give them a monthly plan. They pay a monthly membership for a workout from me, and I'll also train them in person at the gym where they pay for a membership. But when you embody these flow states in the morning, this is comparable to a musician that gets together with a group and is going over ideas. You become the person who's the musician in the room with those people, and your ideas flow. They don't come to you by being in the analytical way of thinking that this is not good enough, that's not good enough, what am I going to do? Because that causes you to make error. That causes you to overthink. That causes you to not come up with the best material possible. And how do you come up with it? By feelings of love throughout your body. The same way as when we connect to our spiritual guide in the morning. You embody those states. You live throughout your whole day as that person. And when you get to your rehearsal, you're in a flow state of loving, creative energy. If you're using it when your creative's at an all-time high, like in the morning before the analytical mind gets to work throughout the day, even though we are spiritually connected, we're living a life filled with peace, love, and joy. It don't matter how close to enlightenment we are still going to be using the analytical mind throughout the day. It's part of human nature. You need to find peace with that. And each time things come up that bother you or trigger you, you allow them to be. Because if everything is okay in the present moment, what happened in the past is no longer an issue. And you know why it's no longer an issue? Because it doesn't create the person that you are right here and now that is watching this video. That thing from the past happened back then, and it needs to be surrendered. And that's not you letting the other person or circumstance win. You are surrendering it to your higher self. And I will link the higher self meditation right here. Surrendering to the higher self and starting to embody the feelings that I can feel a flowing, loving energy throughout my body, throughout my mind, to be able to create the things that I love to do. And this was one of the major steps I took towards my awakening a year and a half ago, is being able to let go of those suppressed thoughts and emotions and be able to take that energy of the way the mind was working my body and apply them on fields where I could create the best version of myself. And that's where the personal development version of myself came out. But I had to start somewhere. I wasn't just who I am here and now on this video immediately. It's a work in progress. And the only way to get good at doing something is to start doing something, whether you're good or not, and not being attached to whatever result would come from that thing, especially in the beginner stages. Because what you were doing in the beginning with your creative, you were doing those videos, that material, that songwriting, those photos. You were doing them for yourself. Because you know you are on your quest to achieve greatness on this spiritual journey. And you're starting to live your life with feelings of love and flow and joy for yourself. And the more that you feel these feelings of love and joy for yourself, you will treat other people like that in public, in person, in your personal relationships, in your family. And when things get triggered and people want to judge you again to make you feel that old way again, it won't bother you as much anymore, and it will lessen over time each time they do come back. But when you become this person that is capable, and I know that you're a very powerful person. If you're following people like me in this niche, in this field, we are here to help you and help you discover the most empowered version of yourself, to be able to apply yourself. And then you're going to be able to create that small business that you didn't think was possible. I didn't think becoming an online and fitness trainer at the gym was possible. I didn't think becoming a full-time YouTuber that can make a video per day was possible. But when my higher self sent me the message, I became it, whether I was good at it or not. And my videos, they weren't very confident, and I wasn't in the type of energy and flow state that I am nowadays. But I applied myself and I kept doing it regardless of the results, regardless of what was happening, regardless of how good I was speaking. And then I started to get some momentum. I started to gain some confidence. And then my real vision started to come to me, because I meditate every morning. So I'm using this creative flow state the same way that I would if I was writing music with a band and showing them my ideas. I construct songs. I know how to compose and how to line up certain measures and signatures, and where drum fills go and where guitar lock-ins go, where to put the vocals. It's all stuff I am very familiar with and I love. And when I'm speaking about music, when I'm being the person who does music, I'm in a flow state of loving energy to help create music with my bandmates. And that's where the best ideas come from, when you are being it and not thinking it. Because the second you start thinking it, what's the next beat? What's the next drum fill? You'll make an error. So you're back in the analytical way of thinking, which keeps you in the negative. When you embody these flow states, you take your time for yourself in the morning. You are not consumed by time. And then you are living a life where your brain waves are moving a lot slower. A lot more peace and love in your life. A lot more appreciation and acceptance for what is, and everything that bothered us or may try to bother us in the present moment has no effect, because I accept it. When you learn to accept it and start to do more of this inner work, more of this deep diving, you'll get down to the root of what the problem is. And also, get down to the root of what the problem is, admit it to yourself and your higher self, work on it for a good 2 weeks. It may take 2 weeks. This could be a bad relationship, something that may leave you feeling with guilt, or guilt from something that happened between you and your parents. So go back and picture your inner child when you're doing some of my meditations. Picture your inner child, because he or she may need some healing for you to move forward, to be able to become the most creative self. You need to let go of what the inner child was feeling back then and give it the love that it may have been lacking. And where does attachment come from? It's the lack for things, the lack of things that are happening. The same as people that want success from making videos, success from making social media. Everything is based on the outside nowadays, but when you focus on the inside, you become more magnetic to those who are in alignment with what you are doing and resonate with your content. So I thank you for watching this one, and I'm going to attach at the end of the video a very important video I made on getting away from being an empath, and when you become strong within your own frame and not afraid to set boundaries, you may feel like a bad person. So I'm going to link that right here.